Mr. Kenyon, as you probably know best, you should be in circuit court being sentenced for a felony charge right now.
Okay, is it on now?
The record on 3 separate files on People versus Sky Thomas Kenyon. File 254319 SD, file 254320 ST, and file 254335 ST. All 3 of these cases are based on a single citation that was issued by the Allegheny County Sheriff's Department on charges of operating while intoxicated, second offense, driving while his driver's license was suspended, and having a plate on the vehicle that was not assigned to that vehicle by the Michigan Secretary of State's office. Pre-trial conference was held in this case back on January 16th. At that time, the defendant entered a plea of guilty to the charge of operating while intoxicated, second offense. He entered a plea of guilty to the charge of driving while his license was suspended. And he entered a plea of guilty to the charge of having unlawful plate upon the motor vehicle he was driving while suspended and under the influence. Reviewing his criminal background, I ordered a pre-sentence investigation in this case and a substance abuse assessment as required by law for the operating while intoxicated second offense charge. Both of those have been completed, so we are able to proceed to sentencing this morning. Ms. Fogel, regarding the pre-sentence investigation, have you reviewed that with Mr. Kenyon? If so, any additions, deletions, or corrections to it?
No, Your Honor. And we have reviewed it and we have no corrections. Thank you.
The original pretrial conference sheets did not contain any specific recommendations for sentence. So, Mr. Kenyon, on all 3 of these cases, operating while intoxicated, second offense, driving while your license was suspended, and having an improper plate upon the motor vehicle you were driving, this is your chance to tell me anything you would like to for your sentencing.
I think that everything's been covered already that I need to know or you need to know. Thank you.
Ms. Vogel, on behalf of Mr. Kenyon for sentencing this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. At the time of this incident, Sky had been unemployed for a period of time and was feeling very depressed and aimless. He had been drinking late at night, and he was talking on the phone with a young woman who he was interested in, who wanted him to come over. It was the first positive thing to happen in his life in a very long time, and he reacted without thinking, just trying to chase that feeling. He knows he never should have left the house that day. Sky has a very strong connection with his community in Mount Pleasant. He enlisted in the Navy for 3.5 years immediately following high school, but he returned home after finishing his military service and has lived there ever since. He has a strong family support system made up of his mother, father, brother, and grandmother, who all live in that area, and his family gathers every weekend for family Sunday dinners. Sky shared that these dinners are alcohol-free and listed his family as his strongest support system. His 17-year-old son also lives 10 minutes away from him in Mount Pleasant, and Sky has a strong relationship with his son, who stops by to see him almost every day. In terms of his substance use history, Sky has shared that on his prior OWIs, his BAC was very close to a .08 in terms of both prior charges, which obviously is still above the legal limit, but was very close to that level. Sky reported that he used to drink regularly on the weekends and would drink approximately 6 beers per occasion, but did not have an increase in tolerance or use over that time. He successfully completed probation in the past after his first OWI and stayed sober through the course of probation and for a short time after. He also participated in a long-term residential treatment program about 2 years ago where he stayed for approximately 45 days. He has been very committed to his sobriety. He's had setbacks, but he has been committed to getting better. This incident was a huge wake-up call for Sky. Since that day, he started going back to AA meetings with his brother, who's been sober for 16 months and a great support for Sky in his own sobriety journey. At this point, he has not consumed alcohol since this charge and is resolved to stop drinking going forward. He is currently attending AA meetings about 3 times per week with his brother, who provides transportation and accountability for Sky. He now has 70 days of sobriety. He also has a very strong employment history. Following high school, as I said, he enlisted in the Navy, served 3.5 years. After that, he spent 6 years working on oil fields in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, while living in Michigan, traveling around to these various states for work. He also ran his own drywall business for at least 6 years and successfully managed a staff of 6 employees while also handling the day-to-day operations of his business. He now does work full-time again with significant overtime opportunity at Robinson Industries as an extrusion operator, which is a position he has held for about 2 months now and really enjoys. He works full-time, as I said, and often works overtime, choosing to work extra hours on Saturdays and Sundays to save up extra money to move into his own apartment. Right now, he is living with his mother, who is a great support system for him, as I said, but he is excited for the chance to live on his own and take further control of his life. This job and his sobriety have given Sky a renewed sense of purpose and pride, and he is motivated by the great feeling of a hard day's work that he missed while he was unemployed, and by his desire to be a positive role model for his 17-year-old son. Finally, Your Honor, driving while license suspended, revoked, or denied, and unlawful use of license plate are not considered serious misdemeanors under MCL 780.811, and therefore there is a presumption under MCL 769.5 of non-jail and non-probation sentence for those charges. Thus, under files 254335ST and 254320ST, we would request fines and costs only in this matter. For file 254319SD, in which Sky has pled guilty to operating while intoxicated second offense, we would request the court impose no more than the minimum required 5 days of jail, and that the court allow Sky to serve the minimum 5 days jail associated with this charge through the weekend community service program, so that Sky is able to keep his job with Robinson Industries and continue on a positive track. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir Kenyon, as you probably know best, you should be in circuit court being sentenced for a felony charge right now. This is your 3rd drinking and driving conviction, and you're still here in district court on a misdemeanor charge. The pre-sentence investigation shows you have a prior conviction for operating while intoxicated, and I don't have the court here any longer, but in 2017, a second conviction in 2022. This arrest was in 2025. So within an 8-year span, you had 3 arrests for drinking and driving offenses. For whatever reason, the officer in this case didn't catch that. She wrote this as a misdemeanor for a second offense. The prosecuting attorney's office either didn't catch it or chose not to charge you as a felon. But again, you have 3 convictions now within an 8-year span, 3 in your lifetime for drinking and driving as a felony. And for whatever reason, you're here being sentenced on a misdemeanor charge. So, sir, you are now in a very, very, very small group of people here in Michigan who have 3 or more drinking and driving convictions on their record. At the time, you couldn't drive at all. As soon as you got behind the wheel, period, you were breaking the law because your driver's license was suspended. The car you were driving wasn't street legal either. So vehicle wasn't legal. You weren't legal to drive it, and you drove it the 3rd time drunk. Reviewing the pre-sentence investigation, again, it shows the same things I just mentioned: an operating while impaired conviction 2017, an operating while intoxicated second offense conviction in 2022, possession of methamphetamine in 2023, open alcohol in a motor vehicle 23, a domestic violence conviction in 22, a second domestic violence conviction in 25, and 3 unrelated misdemeanors for 2 of them for plate violations that you have here, and not having insurance on the motor vehicle. You have a prior conviction for a felony, 7 prior misdemeanor convictions prior to this, and now pick up 3 more, so you'll now have a total of 10 misdemeanor convictions. You've been on probation, it looks like, over and over again. You were on probation in the 75th District Court in Midland. You were on probation to the 76th District Court in Isabella County. Again, on probation to the Isabella Circuit Court, District Court. Looks like on your felony charge, you are on probation to the 21st Circuit Court. A couple of these were successful. 1 was revoked. So you've had a lot of government assistance trying to take care of your, looks like both drug and alcohol problem. Again, in this case, you have now 8 felony and 10 misdemeanor convictions. This is your 3rd drinking and driving conviction. Again, at the time, you had no right to drive at all because your license was suspended. You live up in Mount Pleasant. I don't know what happened here, only you do. It sounds like you got a call from somebody, decided to come to Allegan County from Mount Pleasant, from what I've just heard. In any event, you were arrested on Christmas Day at 3:45 in the morning here in Allegan County and arrested on your 3rd drinking and driving offense. Sir, given your record, given all the chances you've had before on probation, and now have a 3rd conviction for the very same thing here in Allegan County, clearly you are a public safety risk because you continue to drink and drive after having that type of a record and having all the services that have been provided. And it sounds like all the things you've gone through on your own on top of that, and it doesn't sound like you're able to not drive after drinking, which is all I'm concerned with. The drug and alcohol use is between you and your own body, but when you get behind the wheel and drive from Mount Pleasant down to Allegan, then it becomes a public safety risk and a public safety issue. So on this charge of operating, well, let's take it this way, it's try to be easier. On the charge of driving while your license was suspended first, on that charge, we'll impose a sentence of fines and costs only. On the charge of driving while your license was suspended, the fine is $200. Court costs are $200. State costs and fees are $125 for a total of $525. We'll put that out for payment over the next 3 months. On the charge of having an unlawful plate upon the motor vehicle that you were driving while suspended, we'll also impose a sentence of fines and costs only. On that charge, they are a set fine of $195. We'll also put that out for payment over the next 3 months. The charge of operating while intoxicated, 2nd offense, will place you on probation for a period of 2 years. And that will be with substance abuse counseling as directed by the probation department. Standard condition of probation on this charge is that you not possess or consume any alcohol, marijuana, or illegal controlled substances other than those prescribed to you by a medical professional. They will have the authority to check you for that here at the probation department, have you checked by the police at your home. And for the reasons as already stated on the record, I'm going to order physical monitoring for alcohol consumption for the first month of the probationary period, utilizing either SCRAM or SoberLink at the discretion of the probation department. On this charge, will also require attendance at a victim impact panel. Your driver's license either is or soon will be gone for the next year because of your conviction. Specific condition of your probation is that you not operate a motor vehicle until you obtain a valid license to do so from the Michigan Secretary of State's office. So driving while on probation at all would be a violation of your probation. The charge of operating while intoxicated, 2nd offense, the fine is $1,000. Court costs are $400. State costs and fees are $125. There is a $720 oversight fee for that term of probation and a $100 fee for the substance abuse assessment that was done through the court for a total of $2,345. Court file shows on the misdemeanor charge, you were released on a $500 personal recognizance bond, so all of that is due. You will have the entire time on probation to pay that amount on a monthly payment plan set up through the probation department. The charge of operating while intoxicated, 2nd offense, vehicle immobilization is mandatory. We checked. There is no record, according to the Secretary of State's office, of the vehicle you were driving, which again just means you were driving a vehicle that wasn't street legal, but we don't have any idea who the titled owner of it was. So accordingly, an immobilization order cannot be entered on this case. Finally, Mr. Kenyon, for the reasons as already stated on the record, I'm imposing a jail term of 60 days in the Allegheny County Jail. I'm showing credit for 1 day already served. Need to report to the Allegheny County Jail by next Friday, March 20th of this year at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or after that time, a bench warrant will be issued for your arrest. Will indicate that I have no objection to Mr. Kenyon having work release if he qualifies under the jail's work release program. I'll also ask the probation department to set this for an internal review the following Monday, March 23rd, to verify that he's in custody at the Allegheny County Jail on that date. Finally, as to your probationary sentence, required to advise you pursuant to MCL 771.2 that you are eligible to be discharged at the halfway point of your probationary sentence if you have completed all the terms and conditions of your probationary sentence at that time. So in your case, probation could be concluded in as soon as 1 year. Sending your files down to our probation department at this time. They're going to contact you on the telephone to set up your probation order. What telephone number can they reach you at this morning?
989.
Sorry, 989-93. You are free to hang up from the court proceeding. Be available at the telephone number you just gave us. The probation department will contact you at that number shortly. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Fogel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching this clip from TCF Live. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And you can join us weekdays live, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, right here on this channel.